earn their berth here in the championship. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Greg Zonnefeld, along with Eric Shazer for this big game today. And Eric, these two teams are thoroughbreds who've been here a lot of times, and today it's going to be interesting to see how they interplay for this big match.
Well, as you mentioned, Brookfield East, they won going away in their semifinal. Middleton, bit of a struggle, but they took out Marquette University in a shootout. It's going to be interesting if Middleton can challenge Brookfield East like that today.
Now for a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. From Uline Soccer Park, it is the Division I WIAA Boys Soccer State Championship as top-ranked Brookfield East takes on the third seed Middleton Cardinals. Here's the way that these two teams got to this championship game today. For Brookfield East, it was an easy win, 4-0 over De Pere in yesterday's semifinal. And for Middleton, it was knocking off Kingpin Marquette on penalty kicks to earn their berth here in the championship. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Greg Zonnefeld, along with Eric Shazer for this big game today. And Eric, these two teams are thoroughbreds who've been here a lot of times. And today it's going to be interesting to see how they interplay for this big match.
Well, as you mentioned, Brookfield East, they won going away in their semifinal. Middleton, bit of a struggle, but they took out Marquette University in a shootout. It's going to be interesting if Middleton can challenge Brookfield East like that today.
Now for a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. And we're back at Uline Soccer Park. Kickoff is just around the corner for this Division I Boys State Championship game. As we take a look at the starting lineups for these teams. First of all, for the Middleton Cardinals, 17 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws on the season. And the key player here to watch out for is Michael Fuzel. He is the goalkeeper for Coach Kevin Pauls, and he is the guy who made the big stop in that penalty kick shootout against Marquette.
Middleton, a big struggle against Marquette, but they were able to get the job done. And Fuso with the big save. And Quinn Davis with the final shootout goal to put the Middleton Cardinals through.
And for the Brookfield East Spartans, 20 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. And the key player for them is Ryan Bergau, the center back.
Ryan Bergau is a great player. He's not off the charts in goals scored, but he's been a solid player throughout, and he's going to be the guy that Middleton needs to keep an eye on and contain if they're going to get the victory.
And those were your starting lineups, brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance Company. Premiums paid here, stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. And both teams all set to go as you watch this Division I championship game. You will have Middleton going right to left across your screen, and it'll be Brookfield East going from left to right. Brookfield East trying to build the real quick attack up there, and we're seeing Lorenzo Reyna in action up there for the first time. He was missed yesterday's game due to a couple yellow cards in the sectional final, and he's a real difference maker for them there. That's Aaron Evron with it down in the corner, trying to navigate through a couple defenders. Now they look to get the ball up inside in the middle, trying to find Hardy, but it's broken up nicely by Middleton's defense and Quinn Davis. Davis pushes it up the right side. Estachio trying to connect with Ray. Ball comes back clear. They're going to play it now out of the back with Luke Weber.
Greg, as you can tell early on, Brookfield East, they're going to press and try and see if they can get a mistake from the Middleton Cardinal defenders or from the goalkeeper, see if they can't get themselves an early goal.
You watch the way they try to connect passes through the middle. They're playing pretty directly was Reyna, and Reyna with a pretty rough collision there. Both he and the defender for Middleton, that's Josh Lee, the center back, and instantly we're going to have a stoppage here. And they're immediately calling for the trainers as center referee, Mark Herdeman. Josh Lee had a tremendous game yesterday against Marquette. That inside defensive tandem of Josh Lee, a junior, and freshman Luke Weber really kept things under control against a potent Marquette offense.
Yeah, that wasn't a fair fight, Greg. Lorenzo Reyna, 6'3", 180. Josh Lee, 5'10", 150. He's out-heighted and outweighed, and he took the brunt of that collision right there. Hopefully he's all right.
Really not what you like to see. I don't care where you're at in this tournament. I don't care what we're watching. And lots of concerned fans on both sides as they come out here and tend to Josh Lee just in the second minute of action. And on the sideline there, Brookfield East, coached by Brody Crossell. It's his second season at the helm of Brookfield East, and to say he's had success is an understatement. 34-2-2, and he's bringing this Brookfield East team here for the 19th time in school history. They've been able to win 3 state titles, but for Coach Crossell, a young guy, graduated from Marquette University back in 18, and to have a position like this one at a school like Brookfield East this early in his career, he has a chance to really set a legacy of his own.
And he's really had a lot of early success. Here we are in the state championship game. Like you said, Greg, he's won 34 games in those 2 years. Starting to pile up the victories fast.
Rated number 6 nationally is Brookfield East, number 1 in the upper Midwest. And that tells you the quality of that. In talking with Brody ahead of the tournament, one of the key things he said coming into this season was last year they were really disappointed. They thought they had the quality team to come to this level, and it's good to see Lee up and at him. Menards keys to the game are brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Eric, we talk about the fatigue factor. One of these teams played 100 minutes. The others had an easy 80 minutes. Restarts. That's how the goals came for Brookfield East yesterday. And then this open door. Both these teams, there's no Marquette here in the way, and they both have a chance to win.
What a great opportunity. Like you said, Matt and I had talked about it in the previous couple games. There's just a lot of new teams here. None of the state champs from last year are back, and just a lot of teams with opportunities to win. Set plays are so vital in soccer, and that's one of those things. You can tell the teams that work on it and have a real purpose, and you can tell those teams that don't. So we'll see how Middleton defends that today.
And a little formation change as Coach Kevin Pauls of Middleton, with Lee out, takes Cal Avery, who normally plays that left outside mid, and moves him back to center back to go alongside freshman Luke Weber. So we'll see how that affects the attack for Middleton as well. Ryan Hardy trying to find some room to go there. And the referee says they felt that the foul was, well, they're going to say it was offside as they tried to make a play through there. So we've seen, really seen Brookfield East continue to push that in. And as we see Kevin Pauls, 48, 18, and 12, fourth year at Middleton, coached elsewhere in the Madison area prior to that, but has really found the groove here at a place like Middleton that's got a lot of historical pedigree with all the times they've been here. As you said, 14th trip. That's the third most of any program in Wisconsin history.
And Greg, if you're Middleton, knowing Brookfield East's prowess with the set play, you got to be really careful around the box. I would say anywhere until almost a half, maybe the bottom of the center circle. Got to make sure there's no foolish fouls. You don't want to give Brookfield East any unneeded set plays.
Emery Everon trying to stump it in the middle, and just putting the ball over the top on the second wave run was Wyatt Colby. And that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Dumped it right in the mixer, and Wyatt Colby actually to put it just over top.
Nice job by Colby. Just playing it right across the front of the goal. Things usually happen. Emery Everan playing it across there. And that's the ticket to success. Middleton's going to have to be careful. You can't let that guy get to the end line and then play the ball across. We've seen pressure from Brookfield East defensively right away. pressing full field, and then now offensively looking to get that ball to the end line and bring it across the goal.
So often players want to shoot from there. There's no angle, and when they dump it in the middle, like you said, good things happen. Down the outside come the Spartans once again. That's Emery Everon, the sophomore. His brother Aaron Everon plays over on the other side. We see coming up from his center back Ryan Bergauer to try to clear it out, but on the attack now is Miles Benson for Middleton. Benson leaves it back to Miramato. Miramato coming over here to the left side, and a nice defensive play made by Reed Estachio for Brookfield East.
Brookfield East had numbers back, so if Middleton's going to break that back line, you're going to need to run some combination plays. You're not going to be able to take them on one-on-one and beat them very often.
Now here we see Cal Avery, and this tells you about the versatility of some of these great players that we see. Avery hasn't been a defender during this season, but going to fill that role. Puts a nice long ball into the box, headed up, and Middleton trying to make the next run through, and they're unable to do that. Trying to hold it in, and winning the ball over there again is Wyatt Colby. He'll be trying to go outside, and it's intercepted by Liam Hafman. Hafman on the dribble, trying to get through some traffic. Can't, and now watch the counter. Long counter trying to come down the left side as they try to connect with Emery Everon. He leaves it. On the overlapping run is Katsonis. Katsonis, and it's a nice tackle down there. Well tackled there. That's the freshman Luke Weber. Makes a good tackle, and it'll be a throw-in coming up here, and the referee's going to say a little word to Weber. He had a little word to say with the Brookfield East player. Everon with it.
Weber doesn't look like a freshman. 6'5", 195.
Ball in the mixer. Here's Reyna. His header is up and collected by Michael Fuzel. First real shot on goal opportunity. And Fuzel with an easy save there off the header. 9 shutouts on the season. As you see the numbers, 0.86 goals allowed. So goals will be at a premium here. And it'll be a free kick there in the middle third, and pretty inconsequential. You see referees call fouls in that middle third early on just to let the players know they're managing the game. And Brookfield East looking to spread out the field and work from there.
You can tell early on Brookfield East is trying to use the sidelines, use the width of the field, get the ball to the end line and the corners, and bring it across. And so far they've managed to be successful.
Pass dump from Aaron Everon on the diagonal. Anticipating the mistake on the far side is Katsonis. And defense for the Cardinals needs to play it out the outside. There's Ryan Bergauer. Yesterday, 2 goals on those set pieces. And he's a potential All-American player, according to Coach Krausel, and we saw why. And if we get into those set pieces today, we'll be watching for number 6. Bending ball in the middle, and Fuzel getting off the end line, able to snare that one on a cross, Eric.
I think if you're Middleton, you got to be careful. You can't allow those crosses to come in. That's what Brookfield East is really good at. You got to close that ball down, make sure they don't get a clean look. Thankfully, that one, Michael Fuzel was able to come out and grab it, but there were a couple of attackers bearing down on him.
Good advantage call there. Mark Herdeman's done dozens of these state championship games, and Middleton setting the attack, trying to push some numbers forward. 5 guys up, ball's lobbed in the middle, headed out of there by the Brookfield East defense. And now for Middleton, you got to watch the counter, because they're very dangerous there. Sprinting full speed down that side, but running into traffic was Emery Everon. Challenging over there is Colby. Let's drop back to Hafman. He's going to try to play long, but that's intercepted by Urbanik. Now a takeaway in the middle by Middleton. Not a lot of numbers. Getting patience, though, with it in the middle. That's Tony Murphy. Murphy gives it up now to Miramado.
Like to see the outside backs push up just a little bit, get a little more involved.
Miramado trying to dump it inside, trying to shield inside to get the ball there. Was Miles Benson, but Bergau pushes him, or forces him off to the end line, and a goal kick coming up here for Brookfield East. So early on, East had a lot of pressure on, but it seems like Middleton's found their feet a little bit, Eric.
Yeah, they have, and they've managed to steady the ship, and now they're looking more confident on the ball, connecting some passes, defending well, and now getting an opportunity. They found some openings on the offensive end. And Greg, the hardest thing sometimes, when you got 11 guys on the field, sometimes it's easy to become a spectator and watch instead of thinking, where can I get so that I can be there for that next pass? And that's why I said I'd like to see maybe those outside backs. Coach may not want them to, but just step up a little bit, because that little drop, there's an opportunity to get a ball into the box out in front of that goal.
And they can maintain the ability to recover while doing that too. And if you are early on here, Kevin Pauls has to be happy with how his team is forcing some attack as well. They're not just sitting back, and it's a drop pass, and those are a dangerous ball as well. That's misplayed. It's an opportunity for Middleton. Getting the holdup up here is Reyna. Reyna now off to Colby. A little bit too far for him. And Miramado, who's really done a nice job of tracking back, and connects well there.
Brookfield East does have a size advantage up front with Lorenzo Reyna, 6'3".
Trying to get around that side is Evron. Evron with a cross in the middle. Reyna trying to track it down. Taps it outside, and good job by the Middleton defense to extend the play and push that play a little wider. But Sonis unable to do that. We have our first two substitutes of the game coming in for Brookfield East. So we saw Andrew Armbruster, number 17, start yesterday when Reyna was out and do some really good things. See if you can capitalize on that again today. Colby to Hardy. Hardy trying to win the ball back, but it's taken away, and here comes Middleton. That's Murphy once again. Tony Murphy, his twin brother Jimmy. We'll see some of him later on too. Tracking back. Still holding the ball up there is Miles Benson. And that ball goes out of bounds, and Middleton able to maintain possession in the offensive third.
I agree, Greg. I think if you're Coach Pauls, you got to be pretty happy. They've been able to maintain possession through the midfield. They've gotten it into the attacking third. They've been patient. They've made Brookfield East defend. That's one way to shut down the other team's attack, is make them play a lot of defense.
Murphy trying to cross it, and Urbanik is there to knock that one out of bounds. And still maintaining down in that lower third. Bergauer trying to head clear, but Middleton holding it in. That's Miramado. Takes through two guys and then maybe try to go for the third. That was a little bit too much. They're playing long up front here. With it is Emery Evron.
Well, when you're good enough and you can dribble around a couple, why not a third?
Long ball coming up the outside. That's sent up by Urbanik. Back there to collect that is Avery. Goes out of bounds for a goal kick. So again, nice job by Middleton. We've gone 12 minutes and no corners and no good free kick opportunities. And that was one of the things that they wanted to make sure they avoided.
Don't speed. Don't be reckless. 0 in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives.
Benson comes along this side. Beats one man. And then coming up very nicely to win that was Aaron Evron.
Switching fields like that, that's part of that stretch in the field, making Brookfield East defend.
Carson Fitzgerald, and he gets chopped down. The 2023 WIAA tournament is brought to you by the Wisconsin DOT. 0 in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. So a first real free kick opportunity coming here. for Middleton. 4 guys in the pattern, try to get it inside. It's headed, but then headed back. And now looking to transition. Coming up here was Armbruster. Armbruster trying to connect to Emery Evron, couldn't, and stepping inside to take that away. Good defensive play in the back by Dominic Lima. Here's Miramoto.
Evron let it run because he thought he had some space, didn't realize there was a defender sitting right there, able to take it right off his foot.
Miramoto trying to change the field was too far for Tony Murphy. Back the other way comes Brookfield East.
Miramoto had the right idea, though. Get them spread out. When you get the other team's defense spread out, that's when you can find those gaps and those seams in between those fullbacks and those midfielders.
Those backside runs are always deceiving.
And that's why we were talking about Brookfield East getting the ball down to the end line or wanting to do that. Because then you get those backside runners because everyone's fixated on the ball.
Keenan Ray finds Hardy. Hardy now over here to Emery Evron. Trying to get it down to that corner. He's double teamed in the end. Thought if nothing else, he tried to put that off for a corner. Good step up there by Ray. Pops it back in the air. And we can get a foul called here, and that's going to go on Aaron Evron. Brookfield East fans thought differently, as often the hundreds of referees in the stands do think, right, Eric?
Well, Greg, you're an official, so you're probably on the ref side most of the time. You probably think a little more kindly at times.
What do you say? I've crossed over to the other side after I retired from coaching.
I won't say the dark side. I'm an official too, so I won't say that. But yeah, that's always interesting. You've got such a different view down in the field than you do in the stands.
Long ball trying to catch Emery Evron. He's running a lot more diagonal runs than what we saw yesterday in their game. And he's gonna get a foul on Brookfield East. The Spartans nicked for a grab or something down there. Gonna be a free kick for Middleton, but 110 yards away from the goal. No threat here. It's just a matter of who's gonna win this to put it back into the attack. And once again, it's Miles Benson, and he really showed himself yesterday to be a good ball winner for the Cardinals. Benson 5'10", 160, but a strong player, good leaper. Trying to mix it up with that back line for Brookfield East.
It's really tough. We were talking about getting the ball to the end line and, cutting it back. As a defender, you got to have your head on a swivel. You got to know where those attackers are coming from and what runs they're making. And so often everybody gets fixated on the ball and they get caught ball watching and somebody runs right across their face or right behind them and they never even know they're there. So if you can get it to that end line and bring it across, usually good things happen. And we can see here from Brookfield East, they're still trying to keep the pressure on and trying to get a cheap turnover.
Evron brothers on that side, left foot across, and the far side is Colby. Can't get enough mustard on that header. We saw the two-man game to play inside out and get that across to the far bar, and that's usually where you're going to have good things happen.
And I think he was trying to get this back to the far post. Just tough. He was backpedaling away. Tough to get anything on it to drop it in that far post. Usually that's a danger area.
Liam Hafman with a nice takeaway, starting the attack for the Cardinals. And Ryan Hardy with a good recovery run steps in, and we see the first substitutions coming in here for Middleton. Looks like Jimmy Murphy, one of the twins, coming in. He tends to run up front or on this side of the midfield. I think Oliver Mayer was the other one that came in. Middleton played 15 guys yesterday. A couple extra ones. It was 18 by the time the second half came along. As you play 100 minutes, you had to go a little deeper just for fatigue purposes. And we'll see as this game goes on how that may have an impact on the game if you're Middleton, as Brookfield East had a relatively easy time yesterday of it.
Yeah, you may think that, hey, it's not going to have any effect on us, but that's easy to say 18 minutes into a game, but 70 minutes, 80 minutes.
And we have a booking here as Referee Mark Herdeman didn't like something he heard from the bench from Brookfield East. Not sure if that was the head coach or one of the assistant coaches. And it doesn't really matter, but it is a booking nonetheless. Also has a chat with a couple of the captains and try to manage the game and keep that under control.
I like that when the official takes the time to talk with the players, let them know, hey, here are my expectations. And so he knows they are on alert.
In our 19th minute, still no score. Ball floated in the box. And as going up to try to head the ball was John Urbanek, and he was wrapped up by one of the Murphy brothers. I think that was Jimmy. His arms around him, and there'll be a free kick coming back the other way now for Brookfield East. Will Slowinski, haven't had to call his name. The netminder is 0.21 goals against average. It's allowed 4 goals total on this season in matches played by Brookfield East.
That is a crazy number. 0.21 goals against, 4 goals, you said?
Yes.
On the season? That is crazy.
It's no wonder you're 20-0-1, right, Eric?
Exactly. And like we said, you know, Middleton's going to have their work cut out for them. They thought they was going to be tough playing Marquette in their semifinal. Well, they're going to win a state championship. They're going to have to play another tough opponent, someone who does not give up goals.
Numbers up. Here's Bergauer is up there in that mix. And they're going to call foul on Brookfield East. It's really the first time we've seen numbers thrown forward on a free kick. And it'll be Middleton with the ball. They threw 7 guys up into the box that time and got the ball where they wanted. Coming back quickly the other way. Nice little flick head by Tony Murphy. Get it back into the far corner, forcing Urbanek to retreat to try to clear that ball down for Brookfield East. Here's a takeaway. With it there in the middle is Carson Hill for Brookfield East. Pressing numbers forward. Into the box, trying to find his foot was Evron. And when he tried to drop it back to his brother Aaron, Emery to Aaron, Aaron fouled a little bit out of frustration there as the ball got away from them a little bit.
I think the pass was a little weak, but I don't think Aaron was expecting it or moving into space to get it. So a little miscommunication there.
In the 21st minute, still no score. Pretty even possession numbers between the two teams. The Wisconsin Education Association Council thanks all public school educators giving their all this school year. WIAA, we teach, we inspire. Glad to have you along. Greg Zonefeld and Eric Shazer. A little different format on our statewide network for soccer. A new agreement reached by the WIAA. Watching streaming live now, or whether you're watching the delay broadcast, we're glad to have you along as a broader group of fans of high school sports getting the opportunity to watch these state championship games of sports and kids that otherwise maybe they wouldn't get the opportunity to do.
Such a neat thing for people to see is to watch state tournament, no matter what sport, soccer, volleyball, football, whatever, because it gives something, kids something to aspire to and a stage for them to go, you know what, I would love to be on that stage and to work toward.
Here's Armbruster down in the end line, trying to to cross that ball, and Liam Hafman up to task, blocks the cross, and then knocks it off of the Spartans, and Middleton maintains possession. I'm really impressed with the defense so far for Middleton. They've been up to the task despite losing first-team all-conference Josh Lee. And it's a difficult thing when you lose one of your center backs. But some nice stepping in on the part of Cal Avery, and the other reserves for Middleton having to go into the bench to a spot earlier than maybe what they wanted to. It certainly has not affected their attack or anything like that either. There's Colby trying to find Emery Evron. He shreds 2 guys down to the edge of the box. dumps it in, and here we go. Here's our first corner. First corner kick opportunity for Brookfield East, and those were key parts of the game yesterday.
Nice job by Avery here. Ends up tracking it down, I think, and knocking it away.
So set to serve it in. It's going to be Ryan Hardy. And again, watch for number 6. They put one man short there. Bergauer is the key target. They bring Colby out, bent inside. There's Bergauer, saved off the end line. Saved off the end line. I believe that was Dominic Lima. They got exactly what they wanted. And now here on the counter comes Jimmy Murphy. Murphy dumps it inside. On the far post, Tony Murphy trying to get a shot. Dumps it to Jimmy Murphy. Wide open on the far post. Almost shot and blocked by the Brookfield East offense.
Ooh, too many touches. Had it. Should have hit that shot right away from that right side of the goal.
That was as golden opportunity as we have seen yet on each end. And Middleton with the big counterattack.
That was like a textbook counter.
Oliver Mayer unable to find the ball to his feet. Here's that ball, exactly what they wanted. They get the target they wanted, and perfect defensive positioning by Lima. Great shot there by our camera crew. And then after a little bit, we'll maybe get a chance to check out that counter. Wow, what an opportunity goes by the boards for Middleton in particular, because they had numbers big time.
And they had a couple open shots here, and then they continued to pass. There's
Tony
nice
Murphy.
Pass. There's a shot
to his brother, and then he just couldn't quite get it. And great recovery run defensively. That was Keenan Ray, I believe that was, with a big play. So both teams here in the 25th minute with some golden opportunities, but the board remains clear. Clean sheets each way.
There's a little change of pace there. We haven't had that kind of action. All of a sudden we went end to end for a minute.
Puts a little more juice in the step of everybody here, and you can just tell the crowd energy's a little higher.
And I think if you're Middleton, you got to feel pretty good about that.
Ball goes in the box, and coming out to try to clear that is Slawinski, but it didn't get all the way out. Now Brookfield East trying to clear, but it's held in. Holding it in is Quinn Davis of Middleton. Missed touch. Now up here is Armbruster. Armbruster battling, still battling. We're going to get the foul on Armbruster.
Well, until that last sequence, Greg, we haven't had a whole lot of action. We've had a lot of physicality and a lot of fouls. So I'm hoping that last sequence is a sign that we're going to get more soccer.
13 fouls so far, 9 on Brookfield East and 4 on Middleton. Long ball served in by Avery. Trying to find a head on it. And taking care of business, cleared out of there was Wyatt Colby. Middleton trying to hold it in. There's Aaron Evron, and that's a big touch, but not real productive touch. But able to hold it inside here is Colby.
Both teams have been more than willing to get up and go after the ball in the air. It's been pretty impressive.
And Avery with a little height advantage there, able to do that one. Trying to battle in there is Riley Kahn, but it's taken away. Coming down there in the corner, fed inside, Armbruster. And the ball spun, and it's staying in bounds, and Emery Evron will go down to recover it. He's 1-on-2. He's got a man if he can get a drop.
He had a couple guys open for the drop. Instead tried to take on 2 defenders. But that's what we were talking about, Greg. Getting that ball to the end line, then playing it diagonally back. There's almost always somebody open.
Tony Murphy around 2 guys, and we're going to get a card here. Tactical foul. Easy card as it's going to go on. Booking will go on as Reed Estachio here in the 28th minute. Murphy had a step, and Estachio, yeah, that's a tactical foul to interrupt the attack. But now here's Middleton, about 35 yards out. Really in a perfect spot for a bending ball.
But
6 guys up in the box.
I haven't looked at that, Greg, and he had a defender back waiting for that guy. So I don't know if he necessarily needed to take him down from behind. And now you find yourself in a dangerous position defending a set play where the ball is going to be in on the 6, right on top of your goalie.
Set to put it in play. Bending ball, and Urbanek is in there. He's going to clear it out. Be a throw-in coming for Middleton.
Not the ball that Coach Kevin Pauls wanted, I'm sure.
Elliot Stareznik, I'm sure, wanted a better serve if he could do that one over.
Yeah. You could have made that. You could have played that ball right to that Brookfield East defender.
Still in the offensive third. Middleton trying to put it in. Down in the corner. It's Murphy trying to run a spin around him. Stepping over to knock it out is Keenan Ray, but we're going to get our first corner here for Middleton.
Now we have Brookfield East back on their heels just a little bit.
Bringing up a couple numbers, including Cal Avery back from the center back. Usually doesn't have to run that far when he's playing in the midfield. Ball in the middle, high ball, tipped out of there. Still keeping it in is Middleton, but unable to get a foot on it. Wow, another great opportunity. That was Oliver Mayer. The ball goes up and over, but a nice play by Will Slowinski in goal.
I think Quinn Davis was taking a shot on this one when this ball pops out. Davis ends up trying to shoot it. Right here. Really like to see him just play to that far post. That's pretty ambitious from 35, 40 yards out to score a goal. Played far post. Their defense is in scramble mode. Catch a break.
Evron crosses over. Going to the far post. Parried away by Michael Fuzel. Nice cross once again into that area you want to see. And before Middleton can get the counter going, Ryan Hardy intercepts. But Hafman unable to track it down on the far side. Just what we talked about earlier, Eric. Here's the cross, Aaron Evron. Boy, right there was the runner. Just couldn't quite get the head on, and Michael Fuso, he's only given up .71 goals on the season.
Still another crazy number. They just have, Middleton's been living a little dangerously, letting those crosses come in. They got to start closing those down because Brookfield East has shown how dangerous they are.
Liam Hafman, who left the game toward the end of regulation with an injury and did not come back last night. Good to see him back on the field for Middleton. Middleton, their 14th trip to state. They were the 2004 champions under legendary coach Ken Bergau. They defeated Marquette 1-0. In that game back then. Their last trip here was 2016. In that game, they lost to Green Bay Preble 2-1 in overtime in the semifinals. So good to see the Cardinals back. Navigated their way through that Madison area sectional, beating Lafayette 2-1, Wanakee 1-0, Hamilton 3-0, and then a barn burger with Arrowhead by a score of 2-1 to punch their ticket to Eline Soccer Park. And then to knock off the venerable Marquette on penalties last night.
It's just a good reminder how hard it is to get here.
Middleton, the champs of the Big Eight this year, 8-1 in conference play. And just good to see them back here once again. 14 times that they've been down here. They're the runner-ups in 2000. That year they lost to Marquette 2-0. 4 years later, knocked out Marquette to put that gold ball in the trophy case, and they'd like to add one to it with what many would look at as a big upset against the 5th-ranked team in the country. But they've certainly shown themselves up to the task here. Riley Kahn coming through traffic, lost it, and then out of frustration, fouls, and give the ball back over here to Brookfield East. As for Brookfield East, the Greater Metro champions. As we said, 19 trips down to state, champions in 95. They beat Cedarburg 3-0. In 97, it was Menasha 4-3, and in 2014, again, Cedarburg. They were the victim on 2 of those 3 titles by a score of 1-0. They've had numerous runner-ups. This is their 11th trip to the title game. 3 champions, 7 silver balls. That one just about causing trouble off the foot of Aaron Evron.
Nice half volley. He's probably wishing he could have had it back. He hit it solidly, just not where he wanted it.
Middleton looking to find some attack again. 6 shots up on the board for East. 1 for Middleton. Here's a shot, and that one's going to go wide. Time Riley Kahn had a little more space than he thought. You'd like to see the player give that ball a little bit of forward roll and put some momentum into it. He kind of was on his heels when he hit that one. There's the crossover.
There's the half volley.
Half volley, and Pucel squelches that. I like that. Knew he had lots of space, could knock it down where he could control it a little bit more easily. Trying to get it up as Reyna is back in action, up on that right wing side. Also in, first time we've seen Bennett Schmidt playing this outside here. We get a foul, a little frustration play by Aaron Evron.
Well, you can see Middleton, the Cardinals gaining some confidence. Been able to move the ball, been able to advance from their defensive third into the attacking third, come close. Had some opportunities out front. So slowly but surely, they're hanging in this game. You can see the confidence growing.
As well it should, right? You plant, you get in here, and there's a little bit of that intimidation factor. Don't kid yourself. Kids read social media. They read the newspaper clippings about how good Brookfield East is going to be. And here they are 34 minutes in and finding themselves going toe-to-toe with the Spartans.
Yeah, you mentioned national ranking for Brookfield East. And sometimes anybody, any opponent, you can defeat yourself before the game even starts. Because you already figure, wow, they're so much better. But Middleton has shown us that they are here to compete. They are here to win.
And they're no slouch themselves, rated 8th nationally. So, or I should say 8th regionally. So it's not like this is just anybody showing up to try to pull something that no one could ever see happening. They are right here, and they beat Marquette to get here. It was a big step for them to get over, and they want to make the best of it.
Yeah, this definitely is not a Hoosiers moment here. It would be an upset, like you said, but Middleton has shown they belong.
33 times combined, these two schools have made the trip to the state tournament, whether it's elsewhere around the state. A lot of those previous tournaments at Mansfield Stadium and Breeze Stevens Field. This is the 20th time that they've contested the tournament here at Eline Soccer Park. Beginning 21 years ago, the COVID year, things went out and about. Katsonis, and I think he's going to say he embellished that, would be my guess. We've seen Luke Weber, the freshman. He has not backed down for these Brookfield East players at all, and it's going to be interesting to see his development over these next 3 years.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job. Been strong in the air, strong with ball at his feet. Anything on the ground, just one-on-one defending.
Miramoto leaves for Jimmy Murphy. Jimmy Murphy down in the corner, connects with Brendan Maurer. Back out to Murphy. Looking to reverse field. Trying to get to that end line. Sneaks through the end line. Ball goes off. Carried out of bounds. Last touch by the Spartans. And a corner kick upcoming here for Middleton.
It's always such a dangerous ball. You get it to that end line, not only get it on the foot of your attackers, but the defender is sideways. Sometimes they even have your back to you. They don't know what's coming. They end up getting a corner kick out of it. Sometimes those things end up being deflected off a defender into the goal. So all sorts of things can happen.
Riley Can putting that in and pulls and pushes. And they've called that really tight. Honestly, the referees kept it pretty tight on those corners both ways. And the keeper is the one who took the worst of that. If he got pushed into the post or... But Will Slawinski able to take a little time. This is one of those spots where I like how the rules have changed, Eric. Even if he stops the clock there but doesn't call the trainers on, you can keep the players on the field with the with the safety concern. Let's see what
'cause
happens.
You never know.
Oof. Ouch. There's wheels and weights and everything in there. Just
Good thing he's able to come back. That could have been very dangerous.
Middleton, Dominic Lima, kind of the unsung guy over here too, controlling Lorenzo Reyna. We haven't had to call Reyna's name much. And a foul there called, giving a chance to Brookfield East. This game has kind of ebbed and flowed. Early on, there was a lot of exciting stuff as Brookfield East was pressing on. Then we kind of settled into a lull. Both teams had those opportunities. And this last few minutes, it's been a lot of back and forth in the middle of the field.
Yeah, we settled into that lull again. A lot of physical play, a lot of fouls.
Coming around the outside, trying to find Aaron Evron. Another foul called there. Again, lots of play happening. I maybe wouldn't say isn't always part of the soccer game, so to speak.
No, a lot of it after the play, after the ball is gone. The officials have called it, though. That's important that they get on top of it right away.
Ryan Hardy off to Emery Evron. Trying to find somewhere to go. Spun, grabbed by Miramoto, and this could be a free kick coming here. Wow, what a move by Emery Evron. Miramoto wrapped him up. And here's a dangerous free kick opportunity. Gotta like the leadership of Ryan Hardy. Here's Evron. Check this dancing move out. And then Miramoto had him by the arm. That wasn't enough. Just give him a big bear hug.
There's a little push in there, too. Evron sort of gave him a little stiff arm to clear some space. I think the big mistake there for Middleton was letting him turn around and face the goal.
Evron to far post. The head opportunity is just up and over the top. That time coming up from the back, John Urbanek. Good bending ball.
There's your set play danger. We've talked about it.
He was clear, too.
Not sure who was marking him, but they weren't there when the ball came in.
And they were man marking. We talked about that ahead of it.
Yeah, you want to make sure you put your body on somebody. Do not let them run free. Your guy is always your responsibility. They've had a couple good looks off those set plays with a couple of headers, and the danger in man marking is somebody gets picked, you get knocked off, your guy, and they're free.
In the 40th minute here, as this first half scoreless, winds down, trying to chip it down the center of the field to find Riley Can.
I love that idea, though, trying to whip it back into that tunnel of uncertainty behind the defenders there. Most players won't make that pass because they don't see anybody open. Instead, you got to whip it in there, and your forwards will run onto it.
Wow, what a move by Lorenzo Reyna. He's free over on the left side, trying to get to that end line. Bounces it slowly in the middle, couldn't get enough on it. Getting on top of that is Michael Fuzel. And we've reached halftime. Halftime of this Division I championship game. Here was Reyna. How do you count to three? 1, 2. And where's that third defender? Trying to get through the middle. We're at halftime, no score. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. "40 minutes are in the books of this Division I championship game, and Brookfield East and Middleton playing to a stalemate between these two prize fighter teams. More to come, and this now for a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. So here we are at halftime of this Division I championship game. A clean sheet for Brookfield East and Middleton, as these two teams have gone back and forth, a few and far between. That time it was a great opportunity inside by Ryan Bergauer on that end. And then it was Middleton's turn. Just unable to get the shot in traffic. Looked like that was going to be the one for the brothers Murphy. Brookfield East gets it back, and here's Brookfield East with their chance off the cross. Nice job playing out of the back by Michael Fuzel.
This is what we thought from Middleton. They'd be scrappy and they'd keep fighting, and they've done that. And Brookfield East, they're looking to create one-on-one. I think if they do smart combination play, they're going to be in business.
Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station. And it's time for the second half of this Division I WIAA championship game. Middleton and Brookfield East. Scoreless through 40 minutes, Eric. What do you see as important as we begin the second half?
Well, it's been a little bit of a slog so far, Greg. We haven't seen quite the creativity that we were hoping for. I think if you're Middleton, you got to be really happy with that first half. They hung in there, confidence grew. They were possessing, connecting some passes, and both teams need to be better in that final attacking third.
Here's a press forward. Comes Emery Evron, tracked down there by Avery. Evron gets around the corner into the box. His shot is parried out of bounds, and we'll have a corner kick coming up for Brookfield East.
We've seen a lot of individual skill in this game so far. Here's a perfect example of that. Evron taking it. Just tough. He had a tough angle. It was on his right foot. Not sure what he was going to be able to do with that. Nice save by Michael Fuzel. But just looking for both teams. Just find that next pass. You'll get the ball back.
Ryan Hardy with the serve. Ball carries way out wide. Tracking out there in the corner for Brookfield East. Cuts through three players. Ball back up in the mixer. Trying to get over to that one is Hardy. Puts it back in. There's a shot from Colby. Nice try to one-time that, but it was right at Fuzel. And he's going to look to counter quickly. Trying to get it downfield.
I like Wyatt Colby taking that out of the air and putting it right on goal right away. While the defense is in scramble mode.
Ray Keenan out there playing that right back spot for the Spartans. Here's the turn in by Hardy. Ball can have some English, and there's a lot of guys in there. The ball can play a little ping pong, and you never know what happens if you put it in there.
Get a deflection or whatever. You never know. That's why you're always putting it towards the goal is always a good thing.
Good ball win there in the middle by Quinn Davis for Middleton, and spreading things out, getting some touches. Chipping that one down the sideline, Bennett Schmidt. We've seen a fair amount of him on the field. We didn't see him yesterday. Here's a takeaway. Ball goes inside, trying to find Reyna. Kept in outside by Katsonis. Now Katsonis trying to get wide.
That's why if you're Middleton, you got to pass out of that. You're not going to go one-on-one. They're really pressing hard right now. Just make a nice, easy pass. Short and simple. Get into some space to get the return pass. And they'll pass their way out. Start going one-on-one. That's when the ball gets stolen.
Hardy to Colby. Colby with the cross. Trying to get ahead on that inside. It was Emery Evron. Still held in. Here's the cross. Reyna at the far post, and the ball just gets too far away from him, and it's a goal kick.
Middleton's got to make sure they close those balls out. Too many crosses.
There's that ball to the post, and just missed by Reyna as he tried to slide in. All he needed is just that little touch on there to get that ball just a little touch away from the keeper. That would have been in there.
And Reyna's 6'3". He needed another inch or two, and he would have gotten that on the end of his spikes there. He was going to do whatever he could. Use the bottom of his foot to get that in the back of the goal. Nice ball. Always send that to that far post. That's always the danger area.
Obviously, Brody Krausel and Mike Lafferty, Reed Stevenson saying we need to be the aggressors as we begin the second half for Brookfield East, and we've certainly seen them do that in these first 4 minutes of half number 2. Now here comes a counter, feeding it up to Tony Murphy. Murphy with one man up is Miles Benson. Murphy stops, pops, 8 yard from the 18, and it's in! And Middleton has has struck first in this championship game. Off the foot of Murphy.
I didn't see that coming. It's 1-on-5. 1-on-5. He holds up the ball, maintains possession, attacks the defenders. Nobody really closes him down, and he finds his seam. Just a nice, easy shot.
Round two guys, nice cutback. It didn't overtouch. Pulled the trigger with the left foot, and Ryan Murphy has put Middleton in the lead in the 45th minute.
Yeah, there were 4 defenders there.
Now we'll see how they respond. I don't think Brookfield East can't play from behind in their sectional final. They trailed 2-0 to Homestead and were a man down and came back to win 3-2 in overtime. Coming wide.
Well, they might have poked a sleeping bear. We'll see what happens, how Brookfield East responds.
Katsonas to the far post. Hardy unable to get it. Coming back the other side is Middleton. Trying to pass it through the middle. Colby breaks that pass up. Now here's Miramoto.
I think if you're Middleton, you got to be calm, cool, collected, but you still have to be aggressive.
It's far too early to go into shell mode.
Especially against a team like Brookfield East. They're going to put all the pressure on.
Key if you're Brookfield East, and you know these are seasoned players, to keep their heads. But there's a lot of soccer left to play.
Saw Miramoto there, number 11. He's been a thorn in the Spartans' side today. Really good with the ball at his feet. He's playing with that edge.
Ball sent up from the back by Weber. And you can see Middleton playing with a lot of confidence right now. Again, another nice play. They're in the back by Blake Schmidt, just a freshman. Seen time in that back spot on the far side. What I can tell in the place of Keenan Ray. Serbanik down the side, trying to find Evron. Evron with a head of steam by himself. And that time maybe forced that a little bit into traffic.
I'm not sure if he had somebody running on that far side or not.
Now there's a takeaway by Colby. Colby trying to put a low ball in. Here's Emery Evron around one guy, around another, and trying to get around a third, but good team defense by Middleton.
Cardinals got to be careful. Those guys are so good with the ball at their feet. All it takes is you reach in to try and take it away and take somebody down in the box. They don't want to give Brookfield East that kind of opportunity from the penalty spot.
To correct myself here, actually what has happened is Bergau has moved up into the midfield, down 1-0. Inside, Reyna goes down hard. Call the foul on Reyna. They've done is they've taken Bergauer from his center back spot, moved him up. Get a replay of this foul.
Ouch.
A lot of contact. We said there have been some boys, they're going to be hurting tomorrow.
Luke Weber, he got right up. He popped up. That's a freshman. He's the bigger guy, actually.
Two big fellas doing battle there. As I was saying, Bergauer moved up into midfield. He slid Urbanik into center back. And they have Ray and then the freshman, Blake Schmidt, playing the other outside back. So a little tactical change. Trailing 1-0.
Yeah, that's as a coach. Coach Krausel, do you just go with what you got and what got you here? Or do you go, you know what, it's not working today, or we haven't been able to make it happen today. Let's make a couple switches, see if that can give us a little different look, a little different energy.
Evron trying to head that in play, and one goes out of bounds for a throw-in by Middleton in the 49th minute. In case you're just tuning in, Middleton scoring in the 45th minute, an unassisted goal by Ryan Murphy. Took on a couple players, found an opening and buried the left-footed shot from the top of the box. And number 5, Middleton, leads Brookfield East. This Brookfield East squad has lost just one match the last 2 years. That was to Marquette, and then later on this year they snapped Marquette's 67-game conference winning streak by beating the Hilltoppers. The only blemish on their record, a 1-1 draw with Menominee Falls, and they were playing somewhat shorthanded. As we said, there's a lot of soccer going on here. And you know this game is far, far from done, but we certainly have seen the intensity come up. Here's Reyna. Reyna feeding on the outside. On the overlapping run is Katsonis. He puts it in, but headed out. And now a big clear coming out from the back for Middleton, and trying to hold it in are the Spartans.
Katsonis didn't get the touch that he needed. He needed to take that touch in towards the goal. It spun off his foot, ended up taking him away from the goal, and he wasn't able to play a good ball across, unfortunately.
Long ball coming up side to Evron. Evron, and what a nice move in the back made by Cal Avery. Now Middleton with the field change. Coming down the center of the field is Davis. Davis gets free down the left side.
For the most part, Middleton's just been really composed on the ball this whole game. They've absorbed the pressure, haven't been panicked by it up until this point.
Bergau trying to dump it inside, and putting out of bounds is Middleton. The 2023 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance Company. Premiums paid here stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. A proud sponsor of the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award for over 50 years. 51st minute, Greg Zonefeld and Eric Shazer, happy to have you along at Uline Soccer Park for this Division I championship game, where Middleton leads Brookfield East by a score of 1-0 as we're into the final half hour of play, or should I say that final half hour of regulation play.
And I think one highlight for today is our referee, Mark Herdeman. He's done a really nice job keeping control of this game. It's been very physical from the get-go, and he's been on top of it, and he's kept the reins on.
Mark from West Bend, his assistants Jason Betton and Jonathan Schranz, both from Waukesha. Mark, a longtime veteran of this very game, this very stage here at Uline Soccer Park. And a foul out here, and here's one of those restarts. A lot of times you'd say, oh, it's 40 yards away, Eric. It's not that big a deal, but this is Brookfield East, and the way they run these restarts, have 6 men up right now, and Middleton has 8 guys back in the box.
This is their specialty.
Served into the middle, trying to find Bergauer. They don't. Quinn Davis with the clear. Davis heads it forward. Does Benson. Back on the run is Murphy. And Murphy's going to be fouled from behind, and that's going to be a foul whistle now on Ryan Bergauer, and he's going to get booked with the yellow card.
Well, the last time Murphy was on the run like this, he scored a goal, so Bergauer is going to make sure that didn't happen again.
Foul is the third booking that we've had. 1 on the bench and 2 on players, and Bergauer's not going to stay out long. He's reported back in, ready to come back in at the next stoppage.
This is a tough time of day, Greg. It's just the sun's now officially gone down. The lights are just starting to take effect, so we're going to have a little time here, 5 minutes or so, where it's probably conditions, at least visibility-wise, aren't the best.
So Will Slawinski sets his wall for Brookfield East. They put 3 in the wall. And let's see what Middleton does. Here's the service. And, well, you got to do better than that. You want to do better than that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's tough because you're out in front, so it's tough to get runners coming in, but you got to bring somebody in from the side. Make that hard run across the defender, and then that dive right to the goal. You definitely want to keep that ball in play. Make either their defenders clear it or make their goalie come out and make a play. Skying it over the net doesn't give anybody a chance, doesn't give anything a chance to happen.
I always say playing that ball in the middle, I always like being to the side more. It
Yep.
gives you a lot more angles to work on. than that direct shot, because that's out of range to put it directly on goal, even though that's what Davis tried to do.
And a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll just stand, and then when the ball is kicked, then they'll move. Whereas you get a great advantage if you're already on the move, sliding across that defender, you're already moving, and then diving.
Here's Katsonis trying to get to the end line, tries to dump it across, and coming across to knock it out of bounds and foil the cross is Luke Weber. That's the good news. The challenging news is it's a corner coming up.
Well, Middleton's done a great job. They've always got that secondary defender right there in case the first defender gets beat, or just like that, there's just a sliver of daylight. Weber stepped over.
Ryan Hardy set to serve, had an assist on one of these yesterday. They ran Bergauer on a counter run to the backside. He's got a free header, but it goes just wide. Just missing it. We're on the far side. It was John Urbanek.
He's had a couple. Urbanek's got his head on a couple. It's just one of those where it's just a touch high. We're talking like inches. And just a touch far. If he's able to take a step to that ball and attack it, we might have a different story.
Last night they were running Bergauer around the backside on a hook run. That time he went near post. Trying to vary that attack, because again, there's very few secrets in the age of huddle and film and scouting. You know, both these coaches have their teams very, very well prepared.
Middleton's done a nice job man-to-man on those set plays, but that being said, Brookfield East, they've been able to get their head on a couple balls. 3 or 4, they've had clear looks. They just haven't been able to get it on frame.
There's Katsonis again, trying to get it inside, and didn't swing his hips quite enough. He did have numbers inside, including Emery Everon at the near post. Now we'll see a substitution. Miles Benson will go out, get a new front runner. Up here, that looks like Brendan Maurer in for Middleton. Brookfield East, 34-12-5 all time in championship games, or I should say at the state tournament. Their 11th trip here, their last championship in 14, their last trip to the final turned into a crosstown rivalry. They lost to Brookfield Central. They tied 1-1 in regulation, going 8-7 on penalties. The last time they were on this stage of a championship contest. On the sideline.
Nice ball by Muramoto again. He's just been a dynamo in there. Distributing the ball, defending, having the ball at his feet. He's really been exciting to watch.
Coach Brody Krusel and his staff making whatever adjustments they can. Still lots of time here as we get ready to enter the 57th minute. Shots 11-3 in favor of Brookfield East. 6 on goal for the Spartans, 1 on goal for Middleton, but that's all that you need is 1 goal in this game.
That's why soccer is an exciting game. That's all it takes is 1.
Emery Everon trying to work Katsonis on this far sideline, and knocked out of bounds by the defender there, Nestor Sharif for Middleton, who's had to step in the 2nd minute. Josh Lee, center back for Middleton, went out with an injury.
There's our guy, Muramoto, revving the crowd up. He's definitely brought an energy for Middleton in that field. He is not afraid.
Cross to the far post, and it's headed and in. It's a goal for Brookfield East. And there's our guy. We cited him in the pregame. It's Ryan Bergauer. Had 2 yesterday and puts his head on that one. And we're equalized in the 57th minute.
Well, we haven't said Bergauer's name too much today. Came up big there. We have talked about them having some free headers. Tough ball. There we go. Nobody with a body on him. Katsonis. That was a tough cross. He's going to the ground. Defenders right there. Going to the ground. Plays it to that far post. Bergauer nails it.
And I like that, heads the ball down. Sometimes they just go high shelf. That's what the keeper's expecting, and he put it down and bounced it right past the netminder.
Yep.
Not much Fusel could do there. What a cross by Katsonis. I mean, he had almost falling down, put a perfect ball there to the far post, and we've equalized 1-1. Now let's see this first 2 minutes after this. I always said when I was coaching, Eric, the first 2 minutes after a goal, very, very critical.
For both teams.
Correct.
Sometimes you relax a little bit when you score that goal and you're susceptible to a counter. Or if you're Middleton, now that you're a little shook because you've been playing so well and just being confident and strong, and now all of a sudden Brookfield East got that equalizer. Now what's going to happen?
Bergauer with 2 goals yesterday, adds a third as the leading scorer of this Division I state tournament so far, and he equalizes things for Brookfield East. We said, Eric, there's a lot of soccer left to play, and there's still a lot of soccer left to play for both these teams. Who knows what kind of drama awaits us over this final 22 minutes or so.
We'll see if this will change the pace of the game a little bit. Get it out of the midfield, and both teams will start pushing a little bit more, looking for that game winner. Because I'm sure Middleton doesn't want to go.
They're not going to want to play
doesn't want to go
20.
overtime again. But they'll do what they got to do.
Takeaway there by Colby, and he's displaced. Down the outside. Middleton gets the ball through. It's Jimmy Murphy.
Still see that confidence that we've seen all game from Middleton.
He's got his brother at the top of the box. Tony Murphy, the goal scorer from earlier, couldn't quite get enough on it.
Great idea. Just weren't able to connect.
Lots of brothers in action here. There goes Evron down the outside. Falls down, gets it back. Has it taken away. Looks like Dominic Limo over there. Now Middleton trying to take the pressure off a little bit. Here's Bergauer. Bergauer almost falls down, does fall down, gets up, almost gets the ball back a second time. He's got to be a little careful. He's on a yellow to do anything too crazy.
Bodies are flying.
Once again, the intensity has definitely come up. Turf Monster got involved there. And just trying to catch his breath there was Urbanic. He sends it down, and coming up out of the box is Fusel. Put this ball back in play as we get close to the final 20 minutes of the second half. Blake Schmidt, a freshman. Seen some freshmen playing big minutes in this one. Who knows what big roles are coming. Long ball sent down by Aaron Evron. Trying to track that down is Emery, his brother. That one rolls off the end for a goal kick. A couple more substitutions. You're going to see Middleton having to rotate probably a little more because of those 100 minutes they had. Not only was it 100 minutes, but there was a lot of tension in that battle as well.
And plus the injury early on to Josh Lee going out, one of their junior defender. So they've had to rotate some different guys in. They've done a really nice job. That's that next man up mentality.
And the reality is you don't like to do that. Here, coming on an overlapping run, it's Katsonis. And he's displaced, the ball knocked out of bounds. Nice job there defensively from Middleton. It was Nestor Sharif.
Sharif's done a really nice job. Like you said, coming in and coming off the bench. They've asked a lot. Katsonis has been running down that sideline all game.
Down in the corner, Middleton. It's Evron. Gets to the end. Now it's Katsonis. Another one of those crosses. That one goes harmlessly, as covering up at the post is Michael Fusel. Fusel with 10 shutouts coming into this one. There'll be no shutout tonight for either team. I don't think we're through with fireworks in this game.
No, I think the way it's picked up since that Brookfield East goal, get a feeling we're going to see more.
You know, we mentioned that injury to Josh Lee. Coaches don't like to sub on that back line. And when you especially take out a center back, give a lot of credit to Cal Avery for coming back to play that spot instead of playing out of his outside midfield spot. My guess is he's played there in club or something.
Yep.
But still, it's a total strategy changer for other parts of the strategy that in the game planning that was done by Coach Kevin Pauls.
It's always interesting, too. Sometimes people freak out a little bit. Oh, I'm a forward. I don't play defender. It's just, it's soccer. You are playing soccer. Things are the same. Like you said, there's strategy and tactics, things like that, which, if you're a smart player, you've been watching all that anyway, so you know how your defenders handle stuff and what they do. And there's just some inexperience, so that can be dangerous. But in the end, it's just soccer. You need to be able to trap. You need to be able to pass. You need to be able to handle the ball at your feet, whether you're playing fullback or forward or whatever.
And really, it may be an 11-on-11 game, but it's basically 3s on 2s and 4s on 3s all over the field. I always see coaches say, oh, we got a scrimmage all the time. No, the game is built on 3v3, 3v2, 4v3. It just happens in different spots and different sections on the pitch.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah, we never scrimmaged much either. We always did a lot more, a lot smaller numbers, because that's what it is. You're always trying to get that one-man advantage wherever it is on the field.
Sending the long ball out of the back was Fuzel, and a good quick throw in here from Brookfield East. Evron finds the overlapper on that side. Fighting for that over there is Colby. And Middleton with the takeaway. And here comes Lima. Lima drops it back. Middleton with some numbers. Including Benson running up front. And that one's turned away and cleared out of trouble by Brookfield East.
Middleton's done a really nice job of possessing that ball from their defensive back line to their midfield. Not always getting into that attacking third and to their front line, but they've done a really nice job against Brookfield East's pressure throughout the game, possessing it through that defending third into that middle third.
That time was Emery Evron trying to run around the defender. And there's a heavy touch. Trying to go back to the thrower, and just a little bit too heavy touch, and it goes out of bounds. And a little bit of jitters there. Again, these kids too, they feel this as we get toward the final quarter hour of regulation in this match. They're feeling the pressure of this as well.
I think if you're Brookfield East, there's a lot of pressure, right? You're the #1 seed. You're ranked nationally. This is supposed to be your game. Middleton's got nothing to lose, and they know they can handle it and they can hang in there. So I think all the pressure is on Brookfield East right now.
And the team on the other side is not called Marquette, and don't underestimate that either. Here comes Brookfield East. Here comes a long ball. Trying to run it down is Reyna. Reyna in a foot race with Hafman. Hafman turns, putting that one down to the corner, forcing Brookfield East to take an erratic touch. And there's Bergauer, I should say. And we get a foul, and Evron a little bit too aggressive and create a free kick coming up here for Middleton. And coming up to take this will be Hafman. He's going to play quickly. He's got a man open. It's Murphy. Murphy beats the one defender, and having to step over and knock it out is Aaron Evron, and I love the quick restart.
I love that play, if that's what it was, or if he was just astute enough to see his teammate hanging out there. But yeah, I like seeing whether it's throw-ins or set plays, not 100% of the time, because sometimes it's not the right play, but a lot of times it's just putting it in quick.
Hafren puts it inside, headed out of trouble at the near post by Aaron Evron. Middleton trying to get it in, and there's a big collision. I'm going to call the foul. Or is it out of bounds?
Just a throw.
Just a throw. A little shielded by all the fans and we used to have bobbleheads in front of us, or fat heads. We had that in front of us yesterday. Comes Reyna. Reyna defending there on Davis.
Yeah, but getting back to throw-ins and free kicks and just going. Too many guys say, oh, it's break time. We got to throw in. I can relax for a little bit. Or a set play. I can jog and find the guy I'm supposed to mark. That's when you can take advantage, when the other team is just relaxed a little bit. So he's trying, when it's appropriate, which is most of the time, he's trying to go fast on those and get it going. It almost paid off for Middleton there.
Long ball coming up. Middleton holds it in. Here comes Murphy. Murphy engaged by Bergauer. Murphy now feeds it off to Benson. Benson back to Murphy. Stop, go, move. They don't get it clear, and now they do.
Oh, nice little through ball.
Another good opportunity for Middleton.
Murphy would have had a good touch on that. He would have had himself an opportunity.
Comes Benson. Benson in the corner. Kutsonis challenging him. Just going to be a barn burner last 12 minutes here.
You get the impression both teams are going for it. They don't want this to go in overtime. They don't want it to go to a shootout.
And we get a hold or a hook. Well, you hear that whistle going, the ball's in the box, and you're like, oh boy.
I thought for sure that was going to be a hold. I assumed he might give it to him outside the box, but like you said, must have been a hook at him trying to get around that end line. Get around the corner.
It'll have to be something mighty, mighty clear to award a penalty kick at this point of the match.
Yep. You got to be so careful.
Yes, here's Kutsonis. 3 guys, including Miramoto, and we're going to get a booking here.
It's a great guy. It's a perfect example of what we were talking about. Don't do that. You had 2 defenders over there. You've got him locked down. Now, Brookfield East, we said it at the beginning, what are they, you know, they specialize in these free kicks. Now you've set them up. Basically, it's a glorified corner kick. You've put them in position. They've had some good opportunities off headers, and now you've given them one.
Plus, it's a corner kick not all the way on the end line, so there's more angle to attack the goal, more options and opportunities. So bunch formation here for Brookfield East. Here comes the service.
Referee needs to stand in the middle of that little scrum there.
There's lots going on in there. You know that as well as I do. Here's the ball. Bending far post. Up high. And pulling it in is Michael Fuzel. And that's one of the most important catches he's going to make all day.
Middleton got lucky. I couldn't tell who it was from East, but somebody was standing all alone right on the doorstep of the goal. It just went a few inches over his head.
Down the corner, and have a substitution both ways. Greg Zonnefeld and Eric Shazer from Eline Soccer Park. This Division I championship game, the 3rd of 4 championships. Union Grove has won their first title in Division II, knocking off West De Pere. Sugar River, Belleville New Glarus beats Plymouth 4-1 for their first title. Later on tonight, St. Mary's Catholic against Shoreland Lutheran for the Division IV title, which will follow this one. And while we're in a 1-1 tie, as that ball sent in, collected by Fuzel.
An ambitious bicycle kick from about 30 yards out. You look good, though.
Saw one last night, a bicycle kick on the defensive end. You don't see that very often.
That's awesome. Style points, anyway.
Bergauer trying to get it down to his foot and can't.
Well, let's see how Middleton handles these last 10 minutes. If they can keep their composure.
Hardy.
Just get the feeling Brookfield East, they got the foot on the gas. They are going for this winner.
Bergauer, there's that drop pass you talked to earlier. Bench inside, 1-on-5, top of the box, unable to get it down was Evron. And now Middleton tries to clear, but holding it in is Keenan Ray. Ray to Bergauer. Another drop back, and Blake Schmidt will collect. You can see Middleton not pressing too hard there.
See, this is the game Middleton doesn't want, where they don't get out of their own defensive end, and Brookfield East is just sending balls into the box.
Top of the box, and trying to flick header there was Armbruster. He had a goal yesterday.
On plays like that, too often guys, the other guys, not the guy going up for the header, but the other guys just stand and watch to see, oh, what's he going to do with it, instead of taking off and making a run. Because if somebody would have taken off, obviously you got to time it right so you're not offside, but you got to be just on the move. So when he does head that ball diagonally towards the goal, you're on the end of it. Too often they react. They wait till it gets headed, they react, and then they're too late.
Middleton looking to attack. Broken up there by Katsonis. Keeps it in again. Katsonis still trying to win the ball. And here's Hafman. Hafman has it kept in by Armbruster. And there's a foul from behind, and this is going to be a booking. The 2023 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Liam Hafman getting the booking there.
Again, dangerous. Hafman's had himself a good game. They need him in there. They can't afford to have him out for any length of time.
That's 5 cautions handed out, 4 to players on the field. As well as 1 early to the Brookfield East bench. The numbers would say this has been all Brookfield East. But the important thing is the scoreboard says 1-1. 12 shots overall, 8 on goal for the Spartans, 1 shot on goal for Middleton. But the score is 1-1 on the scoreboard, and that's really all that matters.
And Greg, this could just be me, but I haven't necessarily had that feeling. It hasn't seemed like Brookfield East has just been dominating and has been, you know, just on the verge of scoring a bunch of goals. They've been the more dangerous team, but I think Middleton has done a nice job throughout the game of possessing the ball and being dangerous in attack.
Evron with the serve, trying to get guys inside, parried away by Fuzel, and he knocks that one down. Not his best punt. Katsonis trying to keep it in, took that one off the face. Dumped back inside and trying to gain control in the middle is Miramoto. Armbruster with some pressure there. Nobody really wanting to get the ball in their foot right now.
Yeah, that's why I think Middleton is playing a dangerous game here if they're just looking to clear it, because Brookfield East keeps bringing it right back in. They got to connect some passes. They did such a nice job all game of that, connecting to the midfield out of the back. They can't forget about that.
Evron down in the corner, and the defender looked like it was Cal Avery, bumped it off of him. Evron's not sure, but
no, I think he definitely disagreed with that.
Doesn't matter. We say once the call's made, we don't see any VAR up here in the booth. It's going to be called on the game, and calls are done as we're in the 73rd minute.
You're up here. You're a licensed official. We could do VAR today. That'd be awesome.
I'll let you have that responsibility.
Bring it up here. Bring it up here. We could have looked at that one that was taken off the goal line early in the game.
More substitutions for Middleton. I believe that's Hafman coming back on after his booking. I see Miramoto is back on. So getting to the 73rd minute of action. We play 80 for those of you that are maybe new to soccer on this statewide network, haven't watched a high school soccer tournament game or whatever. It's great to have the kids and these schools and programs worked very hard to get here, have the opportunity to be shown here. 1-1 as the tension builds at Eline Soccer Park. And down the side is Bergauer. Bergauer leaves out here to Keenan. Bergauer probably kind of thought that wasn't for him. Now Middleton trying to turn it the other way. Here comes Benson. Benson feeling up to Murphy, a little bit far for him. Sliding inside to clear that one out of there was Urbanik.
Middleton doing a better job so far of the last 5-10 minutes of closing it down. Not quite giving Brookfield East those free looks on those crosses because they know how dangerous they can be.
And must have said 1 or 2 extra words here. So referee Mark Herdeman stops the game. Just a little bit of management here. I like that when referees don't pull the card right away. Manage the game, talk to the players.
Well, he and Emery Evren have had a lot of conversations today.
I thought maybe that was going to be the last one they'd have, but
the
definitely not going to say another word, I'm guessing.
Been very patient.
Emery, a sophomore. His older brother Aaron, Trying to straighten out the little brother. Lots of brother combinations out here. We've talked about the Murphy brothers. Going to see some more brother combinations from Shoreland Lutheran in our championship game. There's Wyatt Colby. Colby pinned down in the corner, trying to find the midfield drop, and he gets it. It's Aaron Evron.
That's what we were talking about, closing down those crosses. Middleton's doing a nice job.
This ball popping up there. Another Evron trying to dump it inside, and it's blocked. There's your guy once again, Mr. Energy himself, Miramoto.
He's flying all over the place.
Bergau trying to keep it in. This ball's crossed. Dangerous skipping cross in the middle. Handled well by Weber inside, but Bergau keeps it in. Extending the possession here for Brookfield East. Here's the cross to the far post. Inside trying to get a head on it. In there was Armbruster, but couldn't quite get it. A little bit too far for him. Andrew Armbruster, the sophomore, couldn't get enough on it.
Katsonis was on that back post like he has been all game. Couldn't get it to him.
Talked about fleeing that ball to the far side. It could be where the difference maker comes here. Held in and really impressive with Brookfield East these past 3-4 minutes. They've really exerted their control of the action and dictating that. Not seen the ball come down into that Middleton end. It's been a long time since they've had a threat, but all they need is one takeaway, and that can all change. We saw that when Murphy scored the game's first goal.
Middleton's done a nice job all game of using the width, and they've had their most success getting it down those sidelines. They got to stay with that. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we got 4 minutes left. That's plenty of time. You're not into just boom it down the field and chase after it mode. You can still possess, get it in the spots on the field where you want to get it, so you can get your goal scorers on the ball. Your Tony Murphys and Riley Kahns, you can get them into positions to put something out in front of the net.
Stasio comes back in along with Reyna. They took Katsonis out. He's probably tired. He's made a ton of runs. Here is Reyna. He's fresh. Got nudged from behind, but no call. Dumped inside. They pulled back to Benson. Benson trying to go long. Here's Murphy on the run. That's Jimmy Murphy. Keeper way out of the cage. Will Slowinski. Middleton trying to hold it in.
They got lucky there. Slowinski mishit that ball.
Here's Miramoto.
Luckily it didn't fall into anybody's foot.
Jimmy Murphy with the far side. That's Hafman. Goes a little bit, actually not Hafman. Correction, that was Fitzgerald, and the ball carried a little bit too far, and a goal kick because we're in the 78th minute.
Nice move, trying to get to the end line. Little heavy touch there. His touch betrayed him, took it over the end.
Into the final 2.5 minutes of regulation. If we're tied after 80 minutes, we'll play 2 more 10-minute overtimes. No sudden victory. Play that full, we'll go to 100 minutes. We'll see what happens in this last 2 minutes. Long ball headed out of there by Urbanik. Going up to Reyna in the middle of 2 guys. He's got a huge height advantage. Heads it off. Here comes Hardy. Hardy showing in there to Evron. That's Emery Evron, and his pass a little bit too hard. Went out of bounds. Back trying to win the ball in there is Hardy. Ooh, we got a major tackle there. That could have been a card on Miramoto if the referee saw it that way.
It looked terrible. I'd like to see it again. Oftentimes those things look a lot worse than they are.
It looked bad from the press box. We'll see what it looks like on camera. The crew can cue that one up for us when we get an opportunity. Pressure up front. There's a foul there. Crashing in. Here it is. Well, he got the ball and then got the guy.
That's always one, Greg, maybe I should ask you. It's always one of those interesting calls. See, as a coach, I'd say my guy got the ball, so nothing else matters. But sometimes you get that call anyway, just because in getting the ball, you ended up taking out the other guy. What's your take on that?
Just talked about this as the crew that I worked with on Thursday, and sometimes the best interpretation is if the guy gets the ball clearly, it's up to the man to kind of try to get out of the way. It's not like Miramoto did anything vicious to engage after he had gotten the ball. So a good no call by Mark Herdeman, which is what we would expect from the best, or one of the best. That's who should be here on the pitch here.
Yep, he's had a really good game today. He's been busy. I think he's done a really nice job.
34 fouls whistled between the two teams, 13 on Middleton and 21 on East. So we're in the final minute, 30 seconds to go. Middleton is either going to go forward. Here's Bergauer trying to connect with Aaron Evron and can't. And it looks like Middleton is going to hang on here. Miramoto going down the left side. Here's Murphy, one last gasp in the final 10 seconds. Ball's cleared out of there by Middleton, or by East. And we're going to see extra time played here in this championship game. The fans have been treated to 80 minutes. Look at the Middleton players. There's Miramoto. He's like, another 100 is coming. And we're going to get more fun here, Eric, from Eline Soccer Park.
The way he's played today, he has been everywhere. So, yeah, I can understand. He is gassed. It's been fun watching Miramoto play.
So we'll reset things here. There'll be another coin toss. There's a little break taken here for teams to get an opportunity to catch their breath and reset. But we're going to get 20 more minutes of soccer of what has been an epic battle here. Tied 1-1, Brookfield East and Middleton. How did we get to this point today? Well, let's take a look to remind fans who had watched them earlier. The first goal was dancing through the defense, was Tony Murphy with a beautiful shot to the far post. And Will Slowinski didn't have a chance. And then it was the beautiful cross from Katsonis. And our guy we talked about in the pregame, Ryan Bergauer, with the header to equalize for Brookfield East. And after all that, they're going to give us the opportunity for more soccer. More soccer coming your way. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station. It's extra time for these two teams, Brookfield East and Middleton, as 80 minutes wasn't enough to decide a state champion in Division I in 2023. And Eric Shazer, now it really becomes a battle of attrition as well.
We talked about Middleton playing an overtime game in their semifinal. Now they're back in another overtime game. Brookfield East has really been putting on the pressure the last 10, 15 minutes. Once they got that equalizer, they've really been the aggressor. And over the course of the game, Middleton had handled that pressure well. But you're wondering if now fatigue starts to set in, will they be able to continue handling that? Will they be able to counter like they did to get their opening goal? Only time will tell. It's going to be an exciting last 20 minutes.
So we're going to flip the field again as they have a coin toss to determine who goes where. Really no wind, no factor. It's just a matter of preference, whoever won the toss. But we've got Brookfield East going south to north for those geographically inclined. Left to right for those of you who are better that way on the monitor. And Middleton going right to left or north to south. So we'll play 20 full minutes if we're still tied. After 20 minutes, we'll go to penalty kicks. That's how Middleton got here yesterday, making 5 for 5 and knocking out Marquette 5-4. We're a long ways away from that, and we'll see. Brookfield East going to send a long, deep ball right off the bat, trying to get Katsonis. Went all the way down to the corner. And it'll be a goal kick. Go ahead.
Did you ever have a preference when the coin toss, winning the coin toss, whether you wanted your defense in front of you as a coach or offense, or didn't it matter?
I preferred my defense on my end, but my players always liked to go toward the end in front of our bench because that's where our fans were on the other side. They wanted to be able to get that part of the thrill. So that would have been my preference. I don't know, where were you at with that?
I agree with you. I always wanted, whenever we had the opportunity, we would always put our defense in front of us just to settle into the game. And that gave us an opportunity to coach them through some things. If there were problems or special challenges that we had, we were right there, able to help them out. So that always made me most comfortable anyway as a coach.
Riley Can with the takeaway. Unable to see that materialize. Here in the middle is Aaron Evron, trying to go long, headed once again by the big freshman Luke Weber. The long ball coming down this side, and there to clear it out, and out of bounds is Blake Schmidt.
Middleton did a nice job in that final 20 minutes, really closing the balls down in the midfield, not allowing Brookfield East to play those long ones and get it onto somebody's head like they're so good at. So as this overtime starts up, we had an early one, they didn't close it down.
There's Miramoto going down hard. Long ball coming up, trying to run under it up there is Emery Evron. Evron in a foot race, over there with the far back. That's Nestor Sheriff. Now down, and was a collision running there. Mark Herdeman's going to stop the clock. We got cramps, imagine that. We saw that a little bit last night. And they're giving the referee has a little bit of discretion here before he brings the trainer out to allow this player to see if he can work it out. As we see up on the screen, saw a shot of Kevin Pauls. He's concerned about his center back, and looks like he's going to be okay.
Looked like Weber got clipped from behind by Evron. He came over. I don't think it was intentional. They were both running, looking at the ball, and just clipped feet.
So again, the other thing I always found, Eric, these overtimes go fast. You think it's 10 minutes. Boy, that 10 minutes flies by.
Exactly.
Here's Evron down in the corner. It's Emery Evron. Pops in the middle. Head opportunity. Trying to get it in there was Kobe. And he couldn't get it. And then in the scrum for the ball, Lorenzo Reyna collides with Michael Fuzel.
He just had a stare down there, Greg. I don't know if that's what I saw.
Good ball served in. Kobe jumped a little too high.
They won't be exchanging Christmas cards.
A lot of contact, some big boys bouncing in there too. Michael Fuzel, 6'1", but weighs 200. I always like those goalies that made players think twice about running into them.
Exactly.
Although Reyna's a big fella too, so.
He's a big guy. He pushed over a defender just to get to Fuzel there.
Middleton on the attack. We had the Murphys in. Running down the right side. It's Tony Murphy. Knocked out of bounds. Over there by the outside back.
If you're Middleton, the more you can keep the ball down in this attacking third, the better off you'll be.
Well, the other team can't score when it's in your third, right?
You want to play keep away. Just keep working it, look for a crease in the D. The more you make them defend, the more you spread them out. That's when those creases and those holes in the defense are going to show up.
Long throw inside. Getting a head on it as Riley Can. Goes out of bounds and ruled the goal kick by our assistant referee over on the side. We're in the 4th minute of this first overtime. Threw me off a little bit. The clock's counting down instead of up. 6 minutes left. Same thing for those of you watching at home there. You see the time up on top. We're now counting down. Here comes Miramoto. Defended there by Emery Evron. Miramoto gives up to Reed. Reed inside to Murphy. Coming through. Here's Kahn. His shot is blocked. Had a free run down the middle of the box. Had a big save in net by Will Slowinski. And it'll be a corner coming up for Middleton on their most golden chance outside the goal they've scored all night long.
Nice work by Middleton. I was just going to say, they've just been so calm on the ball all night. Nice little throw it, just a little too hard. Carried him wide of the goal. Almost slipped it near post there. Slowinski with the skate save. Matt to be proud. Got that right foot out, deflected it.
Here's Riley Kahn with the corner. Puts it inside and kind of spoiled that one.
Yeah, it was
Didn't
so
get
exciting.
It far enough out. There could be this big moment, right?
Yeah.
Cue the tape, folks. Oh, no, I guess not.
The weak corner kick that barely makes it to the goal. Tony Murphy with that nice through ball, just a little too much on it. Ran his teammate just a little wide. He couldn't get get a good angle on the goal. Ended up making Slawinski make a nice save.
Signal hold. It's what the fans often miss, are the grabs and the tugs underneath. You just see the net result.
Yep. Body on the ground.
And often it's the second guy that gets caught.
Yep.
Long ball coming through.
But you know better. You don't let that happen.
I always tell
all the tricks.
I always say in the pregame, you're not going to put every shot perfectly on, and I'm going to miss one or two. Hopefully it's only one or two or three or four, and they're not too critical. But, you know, you're not perfect either. You got to find the right angles. That's really the art of refereeing. And the longer you do it, like Mark Herdeman does, and some of the other guys we see you doing centers up here, you learn exactly where those spots are to be.
Yep.
Coming on the outside here is Schmidt. Schmidt trying to get it to Emron. Now to Hardy, and Hardy displaced. Comes Can, and down the sideline, coming Tony Murphy. Ball.
Nice ball.
Oh, beautifully played.
Trying to spring Tony Murphy.
Blake Schmidt says no more.
He got there just in the nick of time. I was wondering if he was going to get there. I could tell he was going to slide.
It's funny, we talked about how Luke Weber does not look like a freshman. I would have to say that Blake Schmidt does look like a freshman when you get the close-up of him there.
Hopefully he doesn't watch this later.
But think of the ceiling of these players who are freshmen, sophomores, playing at this level on this stage. They're going to get more opportunities likely, and certainly their soccer play is going to go a lot higher.
Yeah, going to be fun to watch down the road.
Murphy gets to the end line, blocked. Kahn tries to spin it, and Urbanic is going to clear it out of there for Brookfield East.
I think Kahn had an opportunity to do something with that. Seemed to just get away from him.
Interesting how lately now it's been Brookfield East that's been just kicking the ball, clearing the ball out, as Middleton has had the run of play. But that can change almost immediately. And here's knocked loose and open by Evron. That's Aaron Evron. It's coming up the back for Avery. Didn't get a clean clear. This could be a takeaway here. Woo. I didn't see that guy. We're blocked by the fans. As we look out the window, it looked like Aaron Evron was going to be able to run onto that one. Good patience here by Lima. Playing back to Cal Avery. And now over to Hafman. We're on the far side to Sharaf. Back comes Sharaf. Now he's going to send one down the line. As we talked about earlier, how Middleton in that first half really tried to move the ball wide and down those sidelines, and trying to put those combinations together here as we're in the final minute and a half of the first overtime session of 2.
It's all about being patient. Just make that, those Brookfield East attackers, make them defend across the back line. Don't make it easy on them.
Up front it comes to Emery Evron. Big time tackle, clean tackle. Holding it in. It's Bergauer. Back here to Aaron Evron. Setting up a left foot shot. Tried to put it through Emery. And doesn't. Now here comes Murphy. Actually, that's Kahn. Kahn down the left side. In pace is Schmidt. Still getting in front of him. And a nice job by Schmidt. And Kahn is going to get nailed with the foul. A little bit too handsy on the way by.
Nice job by Kahn. Little flick past the defender, but Schmidt caught up. And I think Schmidt won the staring contest there right at the end.
Good recovery run. Took the good angle. That's what you try to get the defenders to know. They got to get ahead of that offensive player. Make that forward run through you. That's when you're going to collect the foul. On ball again. Murphy. Tony Murphy. Trying to get it over to his right foot. And harmlessly has the ball go narrow and wide. And the clock is on zeros of overtime number 1.
I was thinking that would have been crazy if Murphy would have actually been able to cut it back and give himself a good look at the goal.
He's unhappy with himself.
Yeah.
He thought, man, I had another opportunity.
Yep.
Kind of ran out of time, which makes you do that. And here's a look at the big save that we saw that have kept this game 1-1. Riley Can came clear and couldn't quite put it in.
That's all Canton could have really done with it. The pass was just a little too far. It was a beautiful ball, great idea, very creative. Just a touch too far.
Keenan Ray and Will Slawinski, when you're a defender and a goalkeeper, you celebrate those opportunities. It's not often the defense gets something to celebrate, something that big in a game. Usually the offense gets all that fun. But you know there's a lot of pride in those back lines as well. So as we look up on the board, 1-1, nothing's changed. The only thing that has changed is that shot opportunity that Middleton had was really the only real chance that we had here in the first half of overtime.
Well, we had shots by period at the end of regulation. It was 12-1. So Middleton has put 4 more shots up there compared to Brookfield East 1. And that great opportunity right there that Slawinski kicked away. Middleton, I think, just a little better in that first overtime, really doing some good things. Once they got past the first couple minutes of that overtime, really doing some good things. They've really settled into the game.
This is the third of 4 championship games on Soccer Saturday here at Eline Soccer Park. The 4-seed Belleville New Glarus, Sugar River with a 4-1 win in the Division III championship over Plymouth. And then right before this one, Union Grove winning their first title ever, as Belleville New Glarus was, with a 1-0 win over West De Pere. Later on tonight, St. Mary Catholic, the top seed, and the second seed Shoreland Lutheran. It's the only one of the brackets where the seeds actually played out, as those two teams will meet approximately 7 o'clock. We say approximately because we have 10 more minutes to go of this one, and I don't think we're going to get started at 7. Even if this one's finished, you got an award ceremony, you got some warm-up, you potentially have penalties. As the stats are handed over here, one stat as well, 4 for Middleton on the corner kick line and 3 for Brookfield East. The crowds are into it. The players are into it. Eric, we're going to have a great final 10 minutes here. And we're in action. And it's Miramoto with the first touch, the second half of overtime. As he comes to Miles Benson, we played 90 minutes. We're going to hit 100. It's a matter of which of these teams is going to find a way into the net, or are we going to be to penalties, just like Middleton was last night. Brookfield East last penalty kick opportunity here at the state tournament was in the championship game in 2019, where they lost 8-7 to Brookfield Central. Middleton's last one was last night. They made 5 and missed 4, and Coach Kevin Paul said all he did is tell Michael Fusel, you just need to save 1. That's all we need, and that's all it took.
There's some confidence there, and like you said, they just did it last night. So if we end up in a shootout, Middleton's going to be ready to go.
Nice little 2-man play inside. Colby trying to find room. Tries to dump it to the corner. And his outside player wasn't going the same direction as he was.
Middleton's done a really nice job all night. They've got that secondary defender. They've always got somebody on the ball, closing it out most of the time. Closing it out, and they've got that secondary defender who's there because Brookfield East, their attacking players are so good with the ball at their feet, so dangerous. Coach Paul's did a nice job coaching them up. They are ready in case that first guy gets beat. That secondary defender is ready to step in. So it looks like if you're Brookfield East, you're looking at it, there's just a wall of white back there.
Miramoto has the ball displaced. Then on the far side is Aaron Evron. Here's the cross, trying to find Katsonis. Really made a nice run, anticipating the error. Ball still in there, but comes harmlessly to Fusel. In that case, you like Katsonis to make the run, anticipating the error at that point. Too often players just run right next to the defender, anticipate an error.
Exactly. We always talk about that. Just assume the defender's going to misplay the ball, or assume your teammate is going to get your head on it, even if it doesn't look like it. Just keep your run going, because what happens is, doesn't happen every time, but sometimes that ball slides through. And you're exactly right. You're there. But the problem is it doesn't slide through enough, and so they go, it's not going to happen. So then they don't make it, and then when it does, it's reaction, and they're too late.
And that offensive player they're not out of position for anything at that point. They're
Nope.
100 yards away from defending, whereas your defenders, they have to be a little more firm in their decision making.
Yep.
Trying to swing that ball around is John Urbanic. In the middle was Bergauer. Looking the ball up, trying to collect. With it there is Evron. Evron trying to look for somewhere to go, but Middleton with, notice 7 guys back there anytime there's a press.
Secondary defender. Efron's so good. He beat the first defender, and there were 2 guys waiting for him.
Breaking through is Miles Benson, and Miles Benson a little bit too mustard on that one as he tried to find Murphy. Tony Murphy, the junior, his 15th goal of the year, came in the 45th minute. Ryan Bergauer answered for Brookfield East in the 57th on an assist cross from George Katsonis, and that got us to where we are here in the second overtime with 6.5 minutes left to play of live action. It's been a great match, and we're seeing fatigue of Middleton a little bit. They're a little deeper in their bench right now. Nice long ball. Trying to play it down the sideline was Ryan Hardy. Got a little bit too central. Winning it is Reyna.
It really picked up after Brookfield East got that equalizing goal. These last 20 minutes of the second half, and then both these overtimes.
Bonnick clumps up to clean it up and got a little bit more mustard on. Actually, that was Keenan Ray, I should say. A little bit too much mustard from the honorable mention all-conference defender. There's Urbanic playing that center back spot and putting it out of bounds there is Blake Schmidt. Substitution coming in for Middleton. We're on that far side, and we're going to press a little bit here. Miramoto to Can, taken away, and they're going to try a long ball here. Trying to get through on that side is Reyna. He's going to whistle for the foul. Reyna trying to get through traffic. He missed the semifinal game, so if any guy has a lot of energy left, it might be him. He didn't get to play yesterday after picking up a couple yellow cards. Brookfield East has been in a position where they didn't know if their season was going to continue when they trailed 2-0 after going a man down in the 48th minute, but little by little they worked their way back. Brady Kraussel said, he told his guys going to overtime, we just need one shot. And that's all they really need here. Both these teams looking for one, and now what are we going to have? There's a booking for Reyna. That was Reyna. Reyna gets booked.
I think it's for something he said.
Yeah, because he'd run away.
Yep.
They must have said something on the way by. So Andrew Armbruster, the sophomore, was a goal scorer yesterday. No stranger to the state tournament pitch. He's back in, placing Reyna.
I think if you're Coach Paul's from Middleton, you got to be really happy with the way the guys have played in this these 2 overtimes. Really acquitted themselves well. They've been solid in the overtimes. They've been the more dangerous team.
Long serve into the middle. Trying to get a flick on it up there was the central defender, Luke Weber. Middleton keeping it in. Looking to get a cross. There's the cross as well. Header in the air, still not out of trouble for Brookfield East. Miramoto's going to keep it in. Actually, that's not Miramoto, that's Davis. Davis trying to keep it in. There's a big collision. Calling advantage.
Still like to see him get that ball.
Tony Murphy.
Far post.
Trying to get to the end line. Good pressure put down there in the corner by Armbruster. The ball here as we're inside the final 4 minutes of the second overtime. Middleton with the ball dangerously in their offensive third, and coming over is Carson Hill. Oliver Mayer. Get the right color here. Mayer with the throw, trying to find somewhere to go, and Riley Can unable to flick it back in on the 1-2 play off the throw-in.
If you're Middleton, Greg, are you content now that we've got 3 minutes left? Are you thinking, you know what? Let's get to that shootout. Let's not do anything crazy. Make sure we don't turn the ball over in the middle of the field. Get it up to the corners. Let our guys run onto it, or their defenders have to go chase it.
Certainly going to see some really careful decision making. Evron, it's Aaron Evron, drops it back to Katsonis, looking for a penetrating run. Has the ball knocked loose, kept in is Hardy. Hardy wide again to Katsonis. Now coming back here, it's Aaron Evron.
Just no
Needs
crosses.
one guy. Here's a cross. Bending inside. Late runner is Bergauer, and just over the top. What an effort by Bergauer, and they got the look they wanted, a little friendly fire, but a beautiful cross put in there, and that was an opportunity.
That's what I was just saying right before he crossed it. No crosses. That's got to be Middleton's mantra. They cannot let Brookfield East play that ball across. You got to close those down right away. Make them pass it sideways, back, whatever. Don't let them play the ball out in front of that goal.
In the middle, we got a handball. That's what they're going to call here. Tony Murphy with handling. So we wind down to the final 2 minutes of this Division I WIAA Boys State Championship game. It's been all that it's been billed for, and the drama is not over yet. Long ball down the middle, top of the box, and trying to get the bicycle kick inside there as they press the defender John Urbanek up. And he's called for, I think, a handball.
So, yeah, I think one of his teammates before he. Man, we've seen a couple of bicycle kicks today.
Ball goes long, and it will be a throw-in for Middleton. Minute and a half to go. And the bench of Brookfield East not sure about that one. Trying to get it outside. Goes Murphy. Trying to get it crossed over. Still trying to cross it over. Now gets through traffic. Trying to find the end line. More numbers come. What you don't want to do here is foul.
Yeah, if you're Middleton, get it into the box. If you can get it into the box with the ball at your feet.
Just can. And we're going to get not sure what we're going to get. Foul. All right.
Called the foul, push on White.
I thought he was pointing the other way. I was a little confused. In the final minute, the 100th minute, and Brookfield East is not going to settle. They're going to look to play long. Here comes the long ball. Two guys running on that one. Down in the corner, Evron, and good shielding by Brookfield East. We're going to have a goal kick, and it looks like for the second day in a row, Middleton is going to go to penalties. Taking his time is Michael Fuzel. Kevin Pauls and his squad is going to record their third draw of the season. Brookfield East will record their second, as for both of these teams will go as a draw on the record, which means there will be no losses on this season for Brookfield East. But that's not what they're thinking about right now. What they want is to win a championship, and it'll be penalty kicks coming for Brookfield East and Middleton. Now, here's a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. Double overtime, not enough to decide this WIAA Division I Boys State Championship game. Brookfield East and Middleton each found one trip into the net tonight, and now it's going to be time for penalties as these two teams square off on penalty shots. Here's we got here our first goal. Tony Murphy, unassisted, nice left-footed shot. Beat the goalie to that side. And then the equalizer, cross from George Katsonis to Ryan Bergauer. And now it's penalties. It'll be Brookfield East kicking first. Aaron Evron, upper 90. Score for Brookfield East.
Greg, as a coach, what did you always want to go first or go last? What was your preference?
I wanted to go first, put the pressure on. Get that early miss.
I agree. That was always our strategy if we had the opportunity.
Here is Fitzgerald, Carson Fitzgerald, Be interesting to see if they follow the same order as last night. They went 5 for 5. Why would you not?
I would think they would.
Fitzgerald cashes in. We're 1-1 through 2.
Maybe the only benefit for Brookfield East, we talk about Middleton having that experience. They hit all 5 last night, is Brookfield East had a chance to watch. And so now they might know player's preference. Hey, he went right last time. There's that thinking game. Is he going to try and go right again? Sometimes that can affect the kicker.
Here's Emery Evron, the sophomore, trying to match his brother. Hits the post. Hits the post. Early advantage to Middleton. A little bit too much height. This is where you can do it every day in practice, but it's a whole different story when the pressure's on the line here.
And that's so tough when you open up your hips like that and you're trying to go high. You see that happen more often than not, where it just, you get a little bit too much under it.
There's Stars. Elliot Stareznik. With the ball. Off speed, waited for the keeper to move. Slowinski went down, and Stareznik put it almost right down Main Street.
We always coached our goalies, make sure you take, not to just guess, but to, read the plant foot and the hips, and take that first step as an aggressive diagonal forward, and you're making that dive, cutting down the angle right away.
Ryan Hardy next up for Brookfield East. Central midfielder, junior. Set to face off against Michael Fuzel. Shot is in. Fuzel guesses right, and the ball went left. And back even is Brookfield East at 2 apiece.
Calm, cool, and collected by Ryan Hardy there.
Here comes Miles Benson. And he buries it on the left side. 3 rounds are in, and it's 3-2 in favor of Middleton.
It's looking like a replay of last night.
Wyatt Colby making the walk up from half field for Brookfield East. Needing to make it to make sure that his final kicker will even get a chance.
Yeah, there's real pressure right here. It's not over if he misses, but he's got to keep his team in this.
Left foot kicker. Fuzel back and forth. And he missed. Put that one up and over. And now Middleton can become a champion. Coming up to take the kick, and this is last night. It was Brennan Maurer. He did not play, but came in for penalties and made it. He did play tonight. Went upper right yesterday to the sophomore.
If you're Middleton, you got to like where you're at. You've got 2 shots to win this shootout here.
Brennan Maurer for the title. Got it! And Middleton has won the 2023 state championship. In their 14th trip to the big dance, they have won state title number 2. What a performance by these 2 teams. And Middleton had to do it the hard way. They went to the penalty spot 9 times, and they cashed in 9 times.
And that was the least good looking of them all. He put it right where he wanted to, and that's a good reminder. It's not about pace or anything like that. He hit a good, solid ball right where you want it. Looked like he chunked it just a little bit, but Slowinski on the dive was not able to parry it away.
The celebration is on for the Middleton Cardinals, whose season will be crowned with a record of 18 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. The second gold ball is heading down I-94 and up to the far side of Madison. And there you see the crestfallen Brookfield East Spartans, who fall short in what was an outstanding season. The emotion of high school sports on full display as you walk off of here. And now it's time for your Wisconsin DOT play of the game. And here it is, the winning penalty, slotted in the corner by Brennan Maurer. Boy, Slawinski was right there.
He was on top of it. It went right underneath his hip. He like almost dove too far.
That was your Wisconsin DOT play of the game. 0 in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Wow, Eric. Wow.
That was exciting, especially the last 20 minutes of the second half and those 2 overtimes, wall-to-wall action. You got 2 heavyweights going at it. And we had talked about all the pressure being on Brookfield East, you know. #1 seed here and nationally ranked, and Middleton didn't care. They got after it, and they hung in there, and they kept fighting and throwing punches. And eventually, in the end, their experience, their success in that shootout carried them through.
Kevin Pauls follows in the footsteps of the legendary Ken Bergau is bringing home a gold ball back to Middleton earlier this year. Middleton renamed their soccer stadium after Ken Bergau. And now after he won that title back in 2004, it's this version of Middleton's team. It's this version of the Cardinals, their opportunity to be state champions.
I give Middleton credit. They hung in there. You know, they knew they were going up against a really good Brookfield East Spartan team. And they hung in there, and there was some jitters early, and they did face some shots. Not a whole lot on goal, but they weathered the storm, and then they really started to gain confidence, started connecting passes, and really working the ball well out of the back into the midfield. And then I got to give Tony Murphy credit for that goal in regulation. He was 1-on-4. That was just all individual effort. And cut the ball back, found a seam, just put the ball right exactly in that side netting where it needed to be. And without that individual effort, they're not here. And then they're not celebrating a championship. And there's our guy, Kai Muramoto. He was just a dynamo the whole game, just all over. He was standing up, and he was staring down, and he was willing to go toe-to-toe with the heavyweights from Brookfield East and really set the tone for his teammates. And I want to give Middleton's defenders, they were just great. We mentioned them throughout the game. They just did a really nice job.
3 champions have been crowned, and the latest one, this Division I champion, as on penalty kicks, Middleton knocks off Brookfield East. One more championship to come your way on your WIAA network station. For Eric Shazer, I'm Greg Zonnefeld. Thanks for joining us for Division I Boys State Soccer Championship.